Welcome to Dahi Raids. Today we're going to review your queries in Reddit, or as I like to call it, the Wednesday Weddit Wade Weeview, which will be more simple to say than actually saying it right. Now let's see what we have in Reddit. I have a few tabs open. I sorted by new, and I'm just going to go through them in order. Hopefully we'll get through as many as we can in 10 minutes or less. So here we go. Okay, so rolled gears. Hey guys, I have a large collection of gear at level 12 and some of them are X1 roll or 2X. Very rare 3X. I ask you, would it be possible to select all 1X pieces only with the RL's helper tool? I looked around and didn't find anything that would allow me to do this. So with RS helper tool, it is possible to do that. There is a gauge on it. However, as this first person has answered, the best way to do this is the raid optimizer in Hades site, and it is actually something I do when I'm rolling up artifacts. So that's the best way to do it. You'll see the options there. You click on artifacts and you can move the gauge up and down for what level you want. Next, if you have the siege red dot, it's probably because you have unset blessings or masteries. I just set mine and the dot disappeared. Okay, that could be true. However, what seems to happen is that you can click into siege, click out of siege, and it disappears. So I'd like to know if this does work once the game is reloaded as well. However, I tend to always have a red dot on the stop it. I always tend to have a red dot on champions anyway, because there is either from gear, blessings, or masteries, and there's something there, and there's no handy way to filter that. But that's a good tip, good to try out. Now, crushing rend or cruelty is the next one. I want to know the reason why I should use crushing rend instead of cruelty in case of a 6-star blessing. Cruelty lowers the defense for everyone on the team up to 20% for bosses. Crushing rend only ignores the defense up to 6%, 1% per 10 level of the champ, or depends on the level of the enemy. So yes, it does depend on the level of the enemy, and what will be vitally important to understand here is that you're talking about arena levels for champions, whereas if you look at the clan boss, it's just resetting as well. So Ultra Nightmare clan boss, where can we see his level? We can't click in, yeah, so 250. So that is for every 10 levels 1%, so you're ignoring 25% for that champion. However, when we look at Hydra and some others, I have to claim my winnings. I wouldn't normally do this, but for the sake of the video, I'll just click through it. Nice. Okay. Fine. If we go to battle, continue, we can see that they're at 310. So that's 31% of defense that you're going to be ignoring using crushing rend over cruelty. If you couple that with some of the gear sets, you can get 25% ignore defense. And then if you couple that with the mastery, not flawless execution, where are we? Helm Smasher, then you will be dealing true damage. So that's what you're aiming for, really, is true damage rather than a reduction in defense. So if you can get up to that, it's better. And also for the likes of Hydra, it's more of a closer thing because you're ignoring 20% on 4 bosses. So it does stack up quite quickly. The real answer is that you want both. So if you're thinking about team composition, you want to be using like on non-damaging, non-DPS champions, you want to be using cruelty. And then on your DPS champions, you want to be using crushing rend for them to be dealing true damage. And that's how you're going to min-max to get the best results. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Hydra team. Okay, wondering if anybody could provide me a team for Nightmare, Brutal, and Hard. Thanks in advance. Also, can I get Lydia very easily if that is I can get Lydia very easily if that is necessary for any teams. Okay, so let's see. You have a stacked account for one, so well done you, Vengeful Monkey. I'll look for one team anyway. Or actually, I'll give you roles. So in pole position, I would be putting the likes of Necmo and Eastrid as your speed booster, increase defense and decrease defense. So you have them there. And then in your block debuffs category, which is the next, you have Wukong and Lazarius. Lazarius is actually a fantastic support, and people don't always realize that. So built for survival, you can build him with high attack, which will also contribute to his survival and give him enough accuracy to land the debuffs as well. Both of those champions can do the debuffs. Who else then? We are looking for Hex, so you have Metrala, who will also give you increased defense, increased attack, and cleanse and strengthen. And then for your damage, you're looking at the likes of Nuts for the higher levels. So for Brutal and higher, Newt is your guy. Because of the max HP hit, he's not as worth using on normal and hard. Then for normal, you can go with Trunda, and I would couple Trunda with Yumeko because of the reset there. So you want to be using her A2 as much as possible. So I would maybe go for normal to get big scores. I would go something like Eastrid, Trunda, Yumeko, Metrala, and then we need a decreased defense as well, which you don't seem to have much. You only have one screenshot here, and it looks like you have two for some reason. But that would be the base of the team then, and Krisk to provide your provoke and the buff extension and all of that. So that covers pretty much all your bases, but you need a decreased defense in there somewhere. And there's none appearing to me just offhand for some reason. Ragash. Ragash does decreased defense. Okay, but that's what I'd go for. For lower levels, Trunda with a reset, and your decreased speed, increased speed and buffs and all that. And then for higher levels, look at Newt. Okay. Onwards. How are we looking for time? 8 minutes 35. Wow. Okay, who can help me configure a lineup to fight the clan boss based on my current heroes? This is a bigger question. Okay. So for a messy, without a speed tune or anything like that, straight away I'm looking at Marichka. You have her there. Absolutely, I would use her. I'd be looking at Wukong. He's going to keep coming back and help you out in that regard. Gwendolyn will extend buffs. The Mytha will extend... Gwendolyn will extend debuffs. The Mytha will extend buffs. You need to work on survivability champs. So you don't have many bar Marichka. You have the possibility of a speed tune on with these champions for sure. You're lacking maybe a block debuffs, but I'd maybe go for survivability builds with the likes of Marichka, Metrala, Gwendolyn, and we need somebody more for defense. Yeah, you need to build up more support champions to really do it. or damage mitigation champions to go longer? Okay, a lot of information. That's a bigger question, and I might come back to it. And that is 10 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I have answered more questions, so I'm going to split the video into, because I'm terrible with timekeeping. I said 10 minutes. Keep it 10 minutes. Thanks for watching Dahi Raids. Look for the next part of the video to see if any of your questions were answered, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.